Welcome back to the Charlie Cook Cricket Podcast. Now, we have had a bumper weekend of IPL action. Some pretty good games. I think all of them, in terms of betting odds, were all upsets. So it's been a pretty good weekend. I'm joined with Sank today. We're going to go through all three games that happened this weekend, starting with Delhi Capitals versus Chennai Super Kings. And Sank, is Dhoni finished? Is it time for him to go?
Well, that's a brave statement to make, and I'm not going to go on the record to say he should retire, but he definitely doesn't deserve a place in the best 11 Chennai have got. It's just a funny one. You can see why the owners want him there because he sells seats. He's filling stadiums, even away stadiums are full of yellow because of MS Dhoni. So you could see why why he's there. But from a cricketing point of view, it's just the years have passed him by. He's nowhere near his best. He's not hitting the ball as cleanly. He's coming into situations where he's just like, I don't know what to do. Do I just have a swing and get out, or do I just bat the 8 overs, the 8 balls I'm allocated every game?
Yeah,
It's a
and I mean,
funny one, isn't it?
he was in really early this game. So it was the 11th over he came in, and you're usually used to the Dhoni swan song kind of last 8 balls of the innings when it kind of actually matters. He actually had to play a bit of an innings, and he was still too slow at doing that, which just amazed me. We should probably start off with Delhi, though. They batted first. KL Rahul, is he the most underrated cricketer in the world?
Well,
77 off 51 yesterday.
he's definitely the most abused by Indian fans. It's he's the one that everyone seems to blame no matter what happens. But he did come out, to be fair, and he did an interview after the game to say, I've always been the one to take the game deep and put the pressure back on the bowlers, but I've just realised T20 is not that. I'm better off just swinging, trying to hit boundary every ball, and right now it's paying off, which yeah, fair play to him, to go back and reflect that your game is not where it should be compared to T20 world right now, and you've adapted to it. So yeah, well done him. The burdency of not having the Lucknow Supergiant owners watching him every game and coming down after the game and talking to him, and then that's lifted. He's no longer the captain as well. He's a very relaxed player, and he's definitely top of his game now.
Yeah, I mean, that could maybe explain some Rishabh Pant stuff that he hasn't made anything over double digits yet. That could be something that to definitely look at. Runs up and down the order. Again, I don't understand why they're not using the full allocation of Ashwin and Jadeja. Just seems like there's too much experience on. It was slightly flatter than a usual Chennai pitch, this one, but just don't understand the plans. I mean, they were both economical. I mean, Ashwin went for 7 over, Jadeja went for 9.5, nothing crazy. I just don't understand when you've got 8 overs available of such experienced spin, why you'd only use 5 of them.
It's almost like having too many riches. They don't know who to turn to. They say, "Oh, we have to use Batirana because he's really good death bowler." So you give him a go, and then Noor Ahmed is your big money buy, so you have to give him a go, and suddenly you're just bowling overs with players who haven't got the right level of experience at that. And yeah, for me, you got to use your experienced players. Ashwin on a Chennai track, his home ground. I'm sure he knows how to make use of the conditions, regardless how the pitch is. Jadeja's been playing there for years and years now, so he knows the conditions really well. Make sure they bowl their full allocation, because even if they don't get you wickets, they will keep the runs down and make the chase manageable.
Yeah, I mean, I first saw it the first couple of games. I thought, oh, maybe it's just matchup things. I know how T20 teams get about matchups, but it seems to be consistent now, and it just seems like a waste. I mean, they did bring it back. I mean, they were in a bit of trouble despite Jake Friesman not being able to bat with a brain anymore. He had one innings where he had a brain, and all of a sudden he's lost it again. But no, it just seemed bizarre. But nothing was quite as bizarre as the Chennai chase. Vijay Shankar was dropped, I think, 4 or 5 times. I think for the fact of they didn't actually want to get him out because it was beneficial to keep him in. I keep seeing the memes of the Indians keep tweeting. There's a clip where the wicketkeeper purposely doesn't stump someone that's run down the pitch many times. And will either have Vijay Shankar's name on his forehead or MS Dhoni's name on his forehead. which I find quite funny. It was, I mean, you look at the scorecard, and because it was yesterday, it's not ripe in the memory. And you look at it and you think, oh, 69 off 54, it's not terrible. It's a bit slow. You're chasing 180, but to finish 5 wickets down in a chase where you need 185 and you still fall 26 runs short just seems bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, surely you've got to go out and attack in the world of. Like, you've still got Ashwin coming after you.
Mm.
You have your impact sub. Surely you shouldn't be holding back at this point.
Yeah, it's like they're not willing to take the risk. They're just leaving it, thinking, oh, we've got enough finishers, so we'll just play it safe, not hit the big shots, and just hope someone finishes off in the last 2 or 3 overs. Which, if you've got so many wickets in hand, it should be you who should be going for it and taking those risks, hitting the big shots, getting the score close. I'd much rather a team lose by 10 runs but be all out than lose by 20 runs and still have 5 wickets in hand. It makes no sense in this T20 world.
No, it really doesn't. Chennai have now lost 3 games in a row. After beat, who did they beat in their first game? They beat Mumbai in their first game. They've lost 3 in a row. Chennai Super King fans starting to worry.
I'm not going to point fingers, but they've lost 3 in a row since a certain Charlie Cook podcast put them number 1 in the rankings. I don't know who that is. I've got Donald Trump hands going, but yeah, it's just so happened that you may have put a voodoo on them. Yeah, I'm not so much worried about the bowling, and I think we talked about that before as well. The bowling is not the issue; it's their intent with the batting. They still seem to be playing 2010 T20 cricket when right now it doesn't matter, how many runs you've got on board, you still need more. You need to keep attacking, you need to keep finding the boundary, and they're not doing that at the moment. They're just stuck in a different world.
I mean, I think the problem with this CSK team is their top 7. Rachin Ravindra is not a slogger. Devon Conway couldn't bat his way out of a paper bag at the moment. Gaikwad is not a slogger. Vijay Shankar proved that he's not a slogger. Shivam Dubé can hit the ball. Okay, that's fine. He seems to be coming in as their impact sub. Jadeja isn't a slogger, and Dhoni is 92.
That's his
Nothing.
strike rate, by the way.
I think he's trying to get his strike rate at the same age as at the same point of his age.
Yeah.
Now, none of that screams that I'm going to score more than 200 a game, if that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a perfect team to get you 160.
But on the other side, you would have put KL Rahul in the same bracket as that top 7. You would have said, yeah, he is not a T20 player. He would fit well into that CSK lineup. But he's at least had the thought to go, I need to change my game to adapt. Whereas none of the Chennai Super King players are going, yeah, I need to change the approach here. I need to be more attacking, and someone else will hold anchor. So yeah, they need to review how they approach their innings from now on.
Yeah, at least it wasn't as bad as the Tilak Varma innings the other day, where they had to retire him out.
Is there a worse feeling for a batter when your own team just thinks you are making us lose the game? Can you just retire out, please?
I thought that was that there would always be a point in when I played Colts cricket of hit out or get out. Of either this ball either needs to be hit for 6 or you need to hit it into your own stumps. There's 2 ways of doing that, and I just did think that made me laugh. And I've also been reliably informed by people on Twitter that he's taken Mumbai Indians out of his Instagram bio. So
Brilliant.
whatever that means in Gen Z,
Yeah,
is something
it's a
is
very
happening.
petulant child reaction. In the olden days, you would just send a guy out to run him out, wouldn't you? You just go, right, just run him out so someone else can come in. That's how it would have done. But now you have to formally retire them out. So and it wasn't even for someone a big hitter. It was for Mitchell Santner that they retired him
I,
out for.
I
It's like,
know.
Bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, it is very much. I know we're not on Mumbai Indians today, but it is very much the Hardik Pandya show over there, isn't it? I mean, he ends up taking 5 with the ball, um, comes in, tries to save his team in a chase that they've cocked up, and then tells the bloke at the other end that he's not scoring quick enough and he needs to piss off.
The only little silver lining for him is that Jasprit Bumrah's back next game,
Hmm.
and yeah, here's me praying that Bumrah wasn't going to come back and he'd just be, cotton wooled up till the England series. But no, he's going to come back and rescue Mumbai Indians and get him back into the playoffs again.
Well, I had him in the playoffs, so I hope that he makes them, gets them through to the playoffs, and then kind of small injury out of the England series, and then fully fit and firing. I don't want to wish injury on anyone, but when it doesn't benefit my team, then that's where I'd like to go. Moving on to the Rajasthan Royals versus Punjab Kings. Jofra Archer's back. He's back after, again, another prediction that I had on this podcast. Jofra Archer is done, never wanted to play for England again. He picks up 3 for 25 and a player of the match. And also Jaiswal scored some runs, which we haven't seen in a while, which was nice to see. Rajasthan actually fired with their batting lineup for the first time, probably this tournament so far, and it was nice to see.
Yeah, and that's the template for Rajasthan Royals. They are a good team setting up the game. Bat first, get about 180, and now that Jofra Archer's firing, anything above 180 would be enough for them to defend, because he will get you 2 or 3 wickets at the start of the innings and dent the opposition completely, which is exactly what he did. It is nice to see a fast bowler a full pelt. There's no better sight. And yeah, Joffrey's had his up and downs, but already in this tournament. But it's nice to see almost that 2019 version of him, because it's been so long, and I'm sure England fans have missed that as well. But I just hope this is here to stay, and he doesn't pick up another injury now, and to the end of the tournament. Would you want him back in the Test squad come summer?
Yes. Yeah, yes. If he could, I don't. The problem is I don't know how you do it, because when he'll be at the IPL, I presume, I think it's about the 23rd of May, is the end of the regular season. I'm still, as good as Rajasthan Royals have been the last couple of games, I'd still be amazed if they made the playoffs. So you'd imagine that he's going to be back. That Zimbabwe test comes round pretty quick, so I can't imagine that he's going to be kind of ready in terms of bowling loads for Zimbabwe. So there's no county championship games between the Zimbabwe test and the India series.
Yeah.
There is the India A games versus the England Lions at Canterbury and Northants that he could probably play in their 30th of May and 6th of June. So if you want to start getting his bowling loads up, maybe he could be ready for the second test. But yeah, I'd have him. I mean, Mark Wood's injured, Ollie Stone's now injured. There's not much else in terms of players that you'd want in that bowling lineup, and Jofra Archer has to be one of them.
Yeah, you do need someone. I mean, he's not that experienced, but compared to Gus Atkinson, Brian Cast, they are very, very young. And if by some miracle India, managed to get 300 in the first innings and still building, that's when you need some experience just to go right. This is how we can start creating some plans to get some wickets. So Jofra may help with that. And anyone who's bowling above 90 miles an hour in Test cricket, you've got to fear, especially if he can move the ball a little bit.
Yeah, and the problem is that the pitches are going to be flat. As much as England should make green seamers and watch Kohli nick outside fourth stump for 10
He doesn't
times in
need
a
a green
series.
seamer to do that. He can do it on a flat deck.
I mean, we could get him into form with a slow flat deck at Headingley's usually all right, I think, where the first test is. But say we go to Edgbaston and that thing's slow and boring and pretty docile, then that could play a couple of players into form that you don't really want to be in form. I think I can't remember what order the tests are in. But yeah, no, you'd have to have Jofra Archer in. But if he carries on this form, he's going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, and it wasn't like a Mickey Mouse team that they beat. Punjab have made a good start to this IPL, and that was some effort to keep him down to under 160.
I mean, Shreyas Iyer that he picked up in the first over was the one that everyone has been lauding. The reason that this Punjab team is good and the KKR team isn't good anymore was because of Shreyas Iyer and Jofra Archer. I mean, flattened his stumps. I mean, it always looks nice when that happens. It's one of the great sights in cricket.
Yeah.
Takes a wicket with the first ball of the game and then gets Shreyas Iyer at the back end of the over. Wadhera scores 62 in the Punjab innings, 30 from Glenn Maxwell. I don't know what Glenn Maxwell is anymore. He's the most hot and cold cricketer I think we've ever had.
He's more valuable for his bowling now than his batting. Which, if someone had told you that 5 years ago, you think they're crazy. But he just doesn't bring anything with his batting. And if he pays off, you think, oh, good. But you almost just like that's like 10% of his innings where he's paying off. It's never consistent. He'd be better off just if he goes at 120 rather than trying to go at 150 strike rate, he's more useful to the team because once he gets his eye in, he can really tee off.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's not a good batter anymore.
And I don't understand the Stoinis thing either, the other Australian. I just think he hasn't been good now for 3-4 years.
Mm.
Just the IPL has problems of keep giving people gigs when they don't necessarily deserve it. I mean, they've got Inglis in that side who is in great form at the moment, who could just quite easily slot in, but they keep going with someone like Stoinis, and it just doesn't seem to work. I mean, even his bowling was pretty poor, if I remember it. Yeah, 0 for 48 from his 4.
And if they're picking him for his bowling, you're better off using an impact sub, have a bowler, and then sub him out and put Inglis in.
Mm.
Or better still, just play Inglis full stop as your wicketkeeper batter, and then it opens up another slot for you there. You're right that the Champions Trophy he's had, he was really really good, and he's one of your best players. Looking at that lineup, I would definitely have him over both Glenn Maxwell and Marcus Stoinis. But yeah, you'd think Ricky Ponting being there would know how good Josh Inglis is, but it just doesn't seem to like him. Maybe because he's Yorkshire born and you know what Yorkshire people are like. I get that part of it, but yeah, pick your best players.
Strong Yorkshire, strong England, strong Yorkshire, strong Australia, and maybe strong Yorkshire, strong Punjab. Who knows?
There you go. Yeah, like Boycott always said.
Punjab stay in 4th of the table. Rajasthan climb up to 7th, but that's just on net run rate, and that 4 to 7 is really really close on net run rate as well. So one more decent win for Rajasthan. They could be in a playoff spot, and considering I didn't think that I thought they were going to lose 14 games this year, just proves that I know absolutely nothing about cricket as usual. Moving on to today's game, Sank, I'm sorry, we're going to have to discuss your Sunrisers. It's all gone wrong, hasn't it? I mean, Pat Cummins as captaincy. What's the word I'm looking for? Well, just his captaincy. It's all gone wrong, isn't it?
Well, the two names that have tormented me over the past 4 years, Travis Head and Patrick Cummins. They won the Test Championship, beating India. They beat India in the home World Cup, the 2023
Yeah.
ODI World Cup, and caused so much pain. And now they're on the team that I support and love, and they're still causing me pain. It's just something about those two Australians that I've got hate for me throughout, regardless of where they play. Yeah, I get, the problem isn't Travis Head or Abhishek Sharma for me. They are doing what they're meant to do. They just go out attacking. They're intent players. That's their role. It's everyone after that trying to be Travis Head and Abhishek Sharma. That's where the problem is. You don't need your 3, 4, 5, and 6 to be going at that. Klaassen, for all his big hitting, he's not the player who just tee off from ball one. Neither is Nitish Kumar Reddy, but they both just seem to go, oh, we need to keep up this intent that's been set by the openers and go at that pace. No, you just need to carry on scoring at about sevens or eights because the guys at the start have already given you 10, 12 runs per over. And that's where the problem is. It's the 3 to 6 who are just not performing.
Yeah, I heard a stat on the radio the other day. If either Abhishek Sharma or Travis Head make it past over 10, Sunrisers win 75% of their games. If they both get out in the power play, they win 15% of their games, which is just ridiculous. I mean, it is so much. Not, I don't want to say pressure because it's not. It's just shows them what they were so good at last year compared to what we're seeing this year. And I probably think that comes down to the biggest thing of this Sunrisers team was that opening pair of just being so explosive. And I think you're going to see a lot lower scores now because the bowlers just have worked it out a little bit more. I think the bowlers got a little bit more clever. They keep going kind of slow and wide outside off. And it seems to be causing a lot of issues to these players that were scoring loads of runs quickly last year.
And they're not adapting. The batters have set the tone. Last year in the first game this year, the bowlers have adapted as a result, and they changed their where they're going to be bowling. The batters need to rethink. They've had 4 games of this now, where they've seen the new tactic, they've seen the approach of the bowlers. Surely you need to be thinking something else here. You can't just go out swinging all the time. And that's where they're losing the game for me. It's the batting is just letting them down. The bowling was never that great. Even that first game, they made 280 and conceded 250. So your bowlers are not going to win your games. If you're a Sunrisers fan, it's your batters, and they are letting the side down at the moment.
Yeah, and it's a shame because you actually got good performances from Shami and Cummins today, which you haven't had both of those fire so far in this tournament. I just this game, although it wasn't the usual Hyderabad pitch that we've seen lots of. It's 260 is par. It was about 170, 180 was probably par. I just think Gujarat and those games are just a lot better than all the other teams of having that experience. They even lost Sai Siddharthan and Josh Butler early, but Shubman Gill just a chase like that where he's got to score 61 or 40. That's perfect Shubman Gill territory, that is. And then Washington Sundar gave it a whack, and Rutherford also gave it a whack in the end as well. In terms of what Sunrisers are doing with their overseas as well, seems to confuse me a little bit because they have to play those 3 overseas in Travis Head, Klaassen, and Cummins. Cummins is the captain. Head's your big time opener, and Klaassen is your big middle order player. You have to play those 3. They just seem they can't settle on who that 4th is. They went with Kamindu Mendes today, which is fine, but he's not a T20 batter. And yeah, he bowls with both arms, but he's not very good at bowling with either of them.
we talked about it last time we spoke, where I said they need someone like Pujara in the middle just to hold it together and bat around him. But you can't have that player come in at 5 to do that job. You need him either to open and everyone else bats around him, or at number 3. So it's fine using Mendes, and I get the thinking behind it because you need a player who's just not going to go out swinging, but don't bat him at 5 if that's the role he's going to play. They tried Zampa as well a couple of times, and he didn't really come off that well. That 4th one, I even think Pat Cummins is lucky to be holding on to his place at the moment. If he wasn't the captain, he wouldn't be in the squad. He's conceding 10, 12s every game. So it's a bit of a problem area now, the bowling for Sunrisers.
Yeah, I just don't know where to go. You'd think someone like someone like a Nitesh Kumar Reddy could play that anchoring role that you don't necessarily need in T20 cricket, but sometimes there's going to be situations like today when you're 50 for three who could just do with someone just sitting in for a bit and making sure that they get up to a competitive total. Because if we're starting to see the bowlers work out the batters, and all of a sudden you don't have to score 260 anymore, you can get away with scoring 180, then there is room for someone to bat at 130, 140 while everyone else attacks round him. There is room for that now. You don't have to go out and attack every single ball like the Sunrisers have been trying to do. Um, yeah, as you said, the bowling's a worry. I mean, the one thing I will say, Mohammad Siraj today, 4 for 17.
Yeah.
Obviously, trying to prove a point to some Indian selectors. I thought last couple of games he's been pretty good.
Yeah, following the performance against RCB as well, he's coming into his own. 100 wickets in the IPL now as well, so he's been around a while, and it's I mean for Indian fans, it's not a bad thing having Jasprit Bumrah back, Mohammad Shami, and Mohammad Siraj. I'll be licking my lips come England series with those
That's
three
that's a
bowlers in the
that's a
pace attack.
good three.
Yeah,
That's a good. If we do look ahead to that um, England India series, I've always said that Siraj is a really good third option. He's not good a second option. You've
yeah,
got Bumrah and Shami both fit, and Siraj is your third option. And if he fancies bowling a spell, an incredible spell like you know that he can do, like he has done today, then he is someone to worry about.
yeah.
Um, if you've got,
He's very much. Oh,
yeah, go on.
sorry. He's very much in the Stuart Broad mode, where
Mm,
if he gets a wicket, then suddenly the legs are pumping and he gets the crowd going and so on. But other times he just disappears and everyone else has to do the work around him. He is that type of a bowler.
mm. Yeah, yeah. I think he always because he does have that. If he can't get wickets straight away, or his plans aren't working, he seems to be reluctant to try different things and try and force wickets in boring ways. He wants to go on a spell, take five for nothing, and then hang his boots up and say, "I'm done for the day. I've taken all my wickets and don't need to do much more." But I thought it was good for him to take four for today. I hope they look at him for the England series because I think he'd be pretty good in England
I think
conditions.
he'll be in the Test team. I don't think they'll drop him. I think he's performed well enough over the last couple of years to make that team. It'll be the fourth seamer. You're debating between Nitish Kumar Reddy as the all rounder. If Shardul Thakur had played in Essex, I would have thought he would have been coming in because he performed well as well last time in England. Um, but yeah, I've always pushed for Arshdeep as a bowler in the Test squad because the left armour, he still bowls high 80s. It's a good to change the angle a little bit, but they seem reluctant to give him a go in anything but T20 at the moment.
Mm. Yeah, which is a shame because he is a talented bowler. Um, Sunrisers bottom of the table. Can they turn it around, or is it over?
It is doom and gloom at the moment. Unless their batting starts firing and they get their heads switched on from that 3 to 6 places, I don't see them moving up. There are far too many good teams who've got their plans correct already for Sunrisers to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean the problem is you're going to need to win 8 games to make the playoffs.
Yeah,
Um, you've got 9 games left, so that's 7 from the next 9. Um, you've got Punjab Kings as the next game, and then Mumbai, and then Mumbai.
yeah,
Um, that could finish Sunrisers off.
yeah, yeah. Just in time for Jasprit Bumrah to come back as well. So great.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
timed that
because
well. Yeah.
Travis Head has had the occasional issue.
Mm.
Um,
Every batter has the occasional issue with Jasprit Bumrah.
I think I looked it up the other day. Zach Crawley averages 50 against him.
There you go. Yeah, the savior. Just don't show everyone how he got out in the first county championship game
No,
when he got into
75
yeah,
mile an hour dibbly dobblers. That's Zach Crawley's kryptonite.
yeah.
You give him Jasprit Bumrah 85
Yeah,
mile an hour release from 17 yards away. That's it. That's fine.
yeah, right. So we're bringing Sourav Ganguly back from retirement just to open bowling against Zach Crawley. That'll do.
You know what? Shardul Thacker would be the perfect bowler to get Zach
Yeah.
Crawley out every single time. The thing is, Zach Crawley is going to score a bunch of runs against Bumrah, and then Nitish Kumar Reddy's going to come out and nick him off every single game. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be an exciting summer, and of course, the England cricket summer has started now. So, taking away slightly my attention from the IPL, when I'm trying to watch 9 games as I was yesterday and trying to follow 2 IPL games at the same time as well. That was slightly difficult, but I think we got there in the end. Sank, thank you very much for coming on. If you do want to check out Sank, all of his links will be in the description and the show notes. Cricket is simple on most platforms. We'll be back tomorrow with a review of Mumbai versus RCB. And then we're back again on Tuesday for a roundup of the county championship. So remember to like, subscribe, follow the podcast, leave us a review, leave us a rating, all the usual stuff, wherever you get your podcasts. And I'll see you guys in the next one.